the city of Haran, the place where the outbreak started. Today in this video, we'll be talking about the city of Haran and we'll try to find out what happened to it. I'm sorry, wrong music. Now with the release of Dying Light 2, we got to know a few things about Haran, like the city of Haran was actually wiped from the map. But what actually happened? Where are the people of Haran? The fate of Haran was a mystery until today. Now let's go back in time. So before the outbreak, Haran was actually a really popular place for the tourist. I mean, who wouldn't love to visit a place like this? Everything in Haran was going good until one day. The day when the citizens of Haran received warning from the police. Basically, the police has reported a rise in unusual attacks. The victims were attacked in broad daylight just in the city center. No one was badly injured and no possessions were taken. One victim was taken to the hospital with suspected bite marks. The police told all the residents to take extra precautions. Soon the rise in attacks caused distress in the people's daily life. This is when the city's health department reported a major rise in the rate of infection. They honestly called this a flu season, and in 2014 the mutation was the toughest on record. The symptoms are that of a typical flu, but extremely severe. There have been many reports of many cases where the patient lose consciousness and show signs of aggression. The virus spread rather quickly, with those in the vicinity of ill especially vulnerable. They urge people to try to minimize contact, especially face-to-face with the infected. A major spot of infection is public transport, and the health department urged people to practice proper hygiene and caution. For example, use of the tissues when coughing and sneezing, minimizing contact with other passengers, and it was also advisable to wash your hands with soap or disinfectant. Also, Haran was almost close to being in a state of epidemic. It was due to the increase in rates of infection among the residents of Haran and ineffectiveness of currently available cures. The city was introducing strict safety measures. Schools in the city were cancelled until further notice. Hospital visits have been cancelled to minimize the spread of the virus. The health department advises that they are now dedicating their full resources to study this new strain of virus and to find a cure for it. But soon enough, the governor of Haran officially declared a state of epidemic. As a consequence, schools are remained to be closed and all visits in hospital are prohibited. Moreover, all mass events were now cancelled. Later, the Ministry of Defense and the City Council had opened a field hospital at the Haran Stadium. Everyone showing symptoms of the sickness is asked to report at the hospital, where they will be treated with the new medication that is being developed by GRE. The medication which stops the development of the virus in an infected body is nearing completion and will soon be administered to first patients. All uninfected citizens are encouraged to stay at their homes for security and sanitary reasons. But things didn't turn out as planned for the GRE. Due to the rapid spread of the epidemic and new centers of the disease appearing every day, the Ministry of Defense had decided to put the Old Town district under quarantine. The operation was now being carried out by the soldiers and employees of the GRE. All citizens were asked to cooperate with the authorities. The goal of the quarantine is to protect the people of Haran against the disease and increase the efficiency of treating those already infected. Under no circumstances are the citizens allowed to leave their homes during the operation. Representatives of the authorities were visiting all residential houses and were helping all uninfected citizens relocate to temporary quarters outside the city center. All these precautions were taken to stop the spread of the virus. The old town later was being sealed off with concrete walls. Only patients and medical personnel remained inside the quarantine zone. The GRE is also setting up a laboratory within the walls where the final test of the new medication will be carried out. The medication were being designed to stop the development of the disease. Soon enough, the field hospital at the stadium is also being quarantined. No one was allowed to enter or leave the building. Medicine, food, and clothing supplies were delivered to the hospital once a day. This kept on going for some time until one day when the GRE was able to create a cure for the virus. But to test this, they need volunteers. So they asked all the citizens of Haran for volunteers to participate in clinical trials. All participants were promised to be rewarded financially and were told that they will receive necessary medical treatments. In fact, all clinical trial volunteers were asked to register at GRE website. During this situation, the army was given the full power to execute directives of the GRE. Colonel Qadir Suleiman, later known as Rise, was appointed the commander-in-chief of the enforced forces. Civilians were requested to comply with their orders and observe the curfew. All instances of disobedience were prosecuted and all acts of unrest and violence were severely punished. But What happened after that? Well, everything went to shit. Kadir Suleiman, the main antagonist, went against the GRE, and I actually have a video dedicated to the origin of Kadir Suleiman on my channel. Watch that video because it will help you understand Rise aka Kadir Suleiman better. So we all know later Kyle Crane was sent by GRE to hunt down Kadir Suleiman and retrieve a file stolen from the agency. Later, Kyle Crane finds out the truth about GRE and turns against them. And to understand this whole story, you will need to actually play the game. But basically, that file was retrieved by Kyle Crane, and later he gave that research to Dr. Camden and Lena, who were actually working on a cure for the virus. During this time, the GRE stopped delivering airdrops in Haran, which caused a huge issue because the survivors of Haran were now suffering as there was no food or supplies from them anymore. In fact, after the death of Rise, the Rise men took over Haran and caused a lot of chaos. This is why Spike later took all the survivors with him outside of Haran. This was done with the help of Kyle Crane. The people who stayed back were Kyle Crane, Lena, Dr. Camden, Alfie, and Antoine. I hope I pronounced his name right. Now, since Dr. Camden and Lena failed to make a cure, Kyle Crane went out of Haran looking for a cure. This was actually explained in the intro of Dying Light, the following DLC. Now, if you want to know what happened there in the countryside, I have a separate video for that too, where I talk about the fate of Kyle Crane and how he became a sentient volatile being. Definitely watch that video is very interesting. Now, since we all know Kyle Crane has been missing, so how would we know about the fate of Haran? Well, obviously from Dying Light 2. So according to a few of the newspapers we found in the Villador, on 11th October 2015, a wall around Haran was built to prevent the virus from escaping. Then 5 years later, another newspaper article talked about how the world has forgotten Haran as people there are left to die. They mentioned it as a death trap because people of Haran were denied aid or any sort of help from the outside world. So that means people were aware of the fact that there are thousands of people still trapped in Haran. Now we all know later a vaccine for the Haran virus was found and people were vaccinated. Then when everything was going alright, GRE messed up again. An article from the newspaper dating March 7, 2021 says playing with the plague. They accused the GRE of conducting experiments with the virus trying to create a deadly biological weapon. GRE lied to everyone saying that they're actually helping to create a cure, but we all know what they did in Haran and what happens later. So basically GRE messed up again and a new strain of virus was discovered. And this actually started creating chaos around the world. This virus actually had similar symptoms as the original Haran virus originated in a level 4 GRE laboratory. All this actually happened in 23rd December 2021. Now, the same thing that actually happened in Haran was happening around the world. The countries closed all the borders, but the virus still made it through as it went airborne. Now, the story continues and finally reaches the city of Villador. But what happened meanwhile in Haran? See, Haran is still standing tall. It didn't blow up because the nuke ending never happened. I've actually explained that in the Sentient Volatiles video, so when you watch that, you will understand why that nuke ending never happened. So, the only thing you need to know is that the Haran was abandoned and people were left to die because of no support from the outside world. Many people who made it out either died during traveling or survived and made it to the city of Villador. So, can there still be survivors in Haran? Heck yeah, there's still people who travel around the world and many visit different places, and Haran is one of them. In fact, Techland never clearly ever mentioned the death of some of the characters. They left it as a mystery for people to solve. Also, according to the intro of Dying Light 2, Villador was the last city standing. But in a recent interview, a developer confirmed about a bigger settlement forming that consists of hunters and pilgrims. They are called havens. One line I can never forget that was said by the developer was that life finds a way. Meaning if the old places could be restored by this group of people who are actually bigger settlements, then one day Haran can also be restored. But till then, Haran remains abandoned. Thank you for watching everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video and found this video entertaining and informative. Soon Dying Light 2 will be getting a new chapter and a new DLC. So to always stay up to date with Dying Light 2 content, make sure to subscribe to this channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, stay safe and stay human.